A man is charged with stealing his dead brother's identity 50 years ago. A man was arrested for stealing his neighbor's entire front porch, and a whole city loses electricity after a bird drops a fish onto the power lines. These are the weird stories for Wednesday on Weird AF News, the only daily weird news podcast hosted by a comedian inside a closet. I'm back in the closet again. I'm back. An 86-year-old man is found guilty of using his dead brother's identity for over 50 years. This story is out of Portland, Maine. Ah, yes, Portland, Maine. You can't get there from here. We have an 86-year-old fraudulent individual. This man is accused of assuming his brother's identity many decades ago and using it to double dip on Social Security benefits. This is called fraud, I believe. He's been convicted of several charges. Interestingly, he was caught by facial recognition technology that matched the same face to two different identities. However, he got away with it for so many decades. So surprising to me. His name is Napoleon Gonzalez of Etna, Maine. Very cool first name, Napoleon. This guy thinks he's a general of fraud. Napoleon assumed the identity of his brother in 1965, a quarter century after his sibling's death as an infant. Wow, this runs deep. Okay, it wasn't like his brother had just died in 1965 and he's like, you know what, I'm going to take on his identity. The brother was already dead a quarter of a century. He died as an infant. When I read the article, I assumed it was an older brother, around the same age, perhaps an identical twin. That would make sense. I don't recommend that you take on the identity of your dead brother, but if you're gonna do it, at least be an identical twin brother. If you're gonna do it, I don't condone it. Weird AF News doesn't condone you taking on the identity of your dead sibling from 1965. But if you're gonna do it, at least be a twin. Anyways, it says here he used the identity to obtain multiple passports, Social Security benefits, and state ID cards, according to law enforcement. The district court in Bangor convicted him of mail fraud, Social Security fraud, passport fraud, and identity theft. How about being a horrible brother and family member as well? His attorney said he intends to appeal. I don't know how you're going to get away with this. This is what attorneys do, though. This guy's a POS, a piece of crapola. And yet the attorney's like, nah, let's help you. Yeah. How do attorneys sleep at night is what I want to know. Any lawyers out there? How do you sleep at night? You know you're going to the 12th circle of hell after you die, right? Lawyers, get some honest work, for crying out loud. I don't know how you live with yourself as a lawyer. Ugh, just disgusting individuals. It says here, a new investigation was launched in 2020 after facial identification software indicated Gonzalez's face was on two state identification cards. The facial recognition technology is used by the Maine Bureau of Motor Vehicles to ensure no one obtains multiple credentials or credentials under someone else's name. So this guy kept his identity and just decided, I'm going to get the second one and still use my face. He thought he could get away with it. I'm going to use my face for both IDs. Bro, at least put on a fake stash or something. A wig, a clown nose. Something different so that you don't get identified by facial recognition. So sad that it took this long to catch him too. Like the state of Maine, like what are you doing? This guy gets to get fake Social Security benefits for 50 years before you catch him. It's that easy, 50 years. Yeah, I'm just going to use my dead neighbor's Social Security info. I'm just going to... Wow, so easy to fraud in my country. They're just so behind on the technology. It takes them forever to catch up. It really does. You can get away with anything in the United States, I'm telling you. Anyways, to put a button on this, the man's lawyer, Harris Matson, said he doesn't think the government proved all of the elements of the multiple counts against his client, and he questioned the wisdom of the imposition of any sort of lengthy prison sentence for his client at his advanced age of 86. Yeah, it does seem rather silly to sentence someone who's 86 years old to a long prison sentence. That's why you should just, I don't know, find a nearby tree and have a little dangle session. A little dangle from a tree branch, He can really identify as his brother at that point, dead. A man was arrested for stealing his neighbor's entire front porch. He stole a porch. Oh, man. He's a porch pirate, yeah! Let's find out some more information about this porch pirate. I assume it's a pretty sexy-ass porch if he stole it. Maybe it's made out of marble and gold, with gold inlay. Isn't that a word? Ooh, you always hear, like, they'll say, ooh, with gold inlay. I'm like, oh, I don't know what that means, but it sounds expensive. A Georgia man. Oh, Georgia. Ooh, pushing Florida for the most degenerate state in the southeast. A Georgia man is facing a felony charge after he was accused of stealing a full wooden porch from his neighbor. Now, the porch owner told investigators that... I'm going full on the scene mainstream newscaster. I'm at the scene of the crime. Now, where I'm standing, there used to be a porch. The porch owner told investigators that while his property may have an abandoned look, the porch and other items on the land were not really up for grabs. Oh, it runs deep, this mystery. More at 11. Oh my God, I don't know how people watch mainstream news. Okay, so it sounds like this guy's living in a dilapidated home, but what he's saying is, although it looks abandoned and, worthless, everything on the property, it's actually worth something. My roof, my chimney, my porch. I actually like to have a chimney and a porch. These are the only things I have in my life, man. And my outhouse, that it doesn't have a floor, but it's an outhouse nonetheless. It's very special to me. I've had a lot of wonderful times in that outhouse. We have a quote here from the investigator Chris Stapler with the sheriff's office, who said, "Well, it's a full 8x10 porch. It would be what goes onto an hour for entry and exit." Hey, English, Chris Stapler, do you speak English? This is the actual sentence that he says. It would be what goes onto an hour for entry and exit. I don't know what that means, guys. I don't speak Georgian. It would be what goes onto an hour for entry and exit. I'm an investigator. And when I'm on the scene, you better believe shit's getting done. I'm going to find out who took in this porch. Tell you right now, I followed a trail of nails. Led me to a bear cave. I think it might be a grizzly that took the porch after all. Perhaps ate it. Grizzlies need fiber in their diet too. I'm Chris, the investigator down in Georgia. Woo! We're solving stuff down in Georgia. Yeah! He does say that, he added that it's, by the way, the porch was very well constructed. Although it had earlier, the porch owner admitted to it having an abandoned look. According to investigator Chris, it was very well constructed. But, what's well constructed in Chris Stapler's world? Maybe there was only it was missing only 5 boards. That was well constructed to him. Maybe it was only the corner was on fire. It was pretty well constructed, I gotta say. I mean, I've seen a lot of porches in my days. Most of them are, not in such great shape. But this one, it was burnt, half burnt, but pretty well constructed, I gotta say. Now, it turns out they know who took the porch. It's Robin Swanger, who allegedly walked past several no trespassing signs and then took the porch, which at the time was not attached to a home. Okay, so was there a home there? Or was this just a porch sitting in a field? So confused. I need more information. Maybe Chris Stapler can tell us. We got another quote from this investigator who really does a thorough bang-up job. He said, "Some people may shrug their shoulders and say this ain't a big deal, but when you take someone's property without their consent and the value of this porch is probably like $3,000, you can't just go off and take stuff off someone's property." All right, so we're nowhere closer to knowing what the hell was going on. Was this porch just sort of adjacent to the house but not attached to it? Were they doing an upgrade on the porch at the time? Did he detach the porch because he wanted to sell it on Craigslist? Got so many questions. I don't even know how you steal a porch, board by board. Just take 3 boards and then run and go back later, take 3 more boards. You put it on a cart. Bring out your porch. The deputies identified Swanger as a suspect and had been on the lookout for him for several days when they were called to his home for a domestic disturbance. They say that Swanger had previously gotten into a fight with his wife and had been throwing rocks at his own house. Georgia, baby. You're throwing rocks at your own house. Maybe this is why he needed a porch, because he damaged his own porch when he was throwing rocks at his own house. He was going to steal some windows after this, because no doubt he broke some windows by throwing rocks at his own house. Who throws rocks at their own house? What's wrong with this idiot? Wow, Georgia, man, just another state to stay away from. Yay! An entire city lost electricity after a bird dropped a fish onto the power lines. How odd. Oh, nature. Getting us back. An unusual suspect is being sought by the police for a power outage in New Jersey. An osprey that dropped a fish onto the power lines, causing a nearby community to temporarily lose all of their electricity. What's an osprey? I need to look up this bird. Hold on a second. Right, I looked up osprey. Turns out it's a backpack. It's not a bird after all. It's a backpack. So apparently this backpack dropped a fish onto the power lines. I don't even know that backpacks could fly. Very strange, man. The backpack technology has really taken some leaps and bounds lately, unbeknownst to me. I don't have a flying backpack. Maybe I should get one. Well, does it fly when it's on your back? Does it take off with you on it like a jetpack? I got so many questions about this osprey. All right, I'm kidding, guys. I'm kidding. I know osprey is a bird. It does come up on Google, but let me tell you something. I had to scroll down to get the bird because the backpack, it takes up the first few search terms, however you want to call it, because this is Google, and it's a capitalistic run platform where the actual thing in life takes a back seat to commerce. Which is why if you Google Jasmine, do you think the flower comes up first? No, it doesn't. The Disney character comes up first. Why is that? Man, Google needs to improve their search. I mean, I don't even know why I'm still using Google, because this crap like this just makes me so angry. The bird should come up first. The bird. The large raptor, reaching more than 60 centimeters, 24 inches in length, and 180 centimeters, 71 inches across in the wings. It is brown on the upper parts and predominantly grayish. And it looks like an eagle. This should come up first. Not a backpack, bro. A backpack. And then we wonder why our kids don't know anything about history, about nature, about, you name it. Because when they Google, this crap comes up. So stupid. All right. Anyways, that's my whole ballyhoo. Let me get back to the osprey story, because this is kind of weird. So now we know an osprey is a bird of prey, and apparently it was flying with a fish that fell from its grip, and it landed on a transponder in Sayersville, New Jersey. I don't know what a transponder is. I think this is something that the conservatives are scared of, the transponders. Isn't that why they're not drinking Bud Light anymore? Because they put a transponder on the box? We won't have those transponders reading to the children at libraries. No, not if I have something to say about it, and I'll show you my AR-15 that I have in my pants. Okay, I looked up transponder, getting the definition, defining our terms here, because I'm a very thorough news podcast host, as you know, and you're here for the professionalism, aren't you? Turns out transponder is one who ponders or thinks about trans people. So this is basically conservatives, because they're constantly thinking about trans people. I don't know why. It's very exhausting being a conservative, isn't it? Just constantly having to think about trans people. Where are the trans people? They're out there somewhere. Oh, those gay people, watch. Just constantly thinking about it. They think about trans and gay people more than I do, and I live amongst them. Okay, I'm off the rails. Actually, transponder is a wireless communication monitoring or control device that picks up and automatically responds to an incoming signal. So there you have it, a transponder, and then you got an osprey and a fish. And the fish falls from the bird, lands on the transponder, causing the coils within to become misaligned. That's according to the Jersey Central Power and Light, which is a utility company, in case you don't know. What happened? What was the fallout? Well, 2,000 people lost power because of a damn fish. While animals can sometimes cause power outages, fish are not on the list of frequent offenders, according to the utility company spokesperson, who went on to say, "We also send our thoughts to the osprey, because if you've ever dropped your ice cream cone at the fair, well, you know that feeling." That feeling of disappointment. Well, this company spokesperson actually has a sense of humor. Yeah, I like that. We need more utility company spokespersons to have a sense of humor. Says here, it's suspected that an osprey was responsible for the unexpected fishy interruption. The fish's scales appeared punctured, likely by talons. It is thought that it was then dropped over the power lines. It also says that ospreys, in case you don't know, used to be endangered in New Jersey, but they're now recovering with over 700 nesting pairs of this large fish-eating raptor that have been documented across the state in the survey they did last year. Now, we also have the police in Sayreville, New Jersey, where this occurred, who have a bit of a sense of humor. They posted on Facebook, because police can't stay off Facebook. They posted a sketch of an osprey along with a picture of a fish. They given a name to the fish as Gilligan. And then they wrote, "Please let us not forget the victim in this senseless death. Gilligan was a hardworking family man. He was a father to thousands of children. The suspect was last seen flying south. If you see him, do not try to apprehend him. Although he isn't believed to be armed, he may still be very dangerous." So, wow, very funny. These police in Sayreville, I have to give it up to them. Hilarious. I think we need more comedy with our police forces. It would be helpful. It would help to assuage our anxieties about police. I think this is great. I just love jokes, man. This is a good joke, quality joke. Love the joke. Thank you. Hello, my friends. Thanks for joining me for another episode of Weird AF News. I'm back in Los Angeles, back in the closet. I hope you notice a higher quality audio performance. Well, I mean, I can't speak for my performance is always up and down, but the audio quality usually is like this. So thanks for bearing with me when I was recording in sort of I'll just say a non-ideal environment in my Airbnb. I have someone that I'd like to give thanks and praise for, and that is Ashley Ransley, who bought me coffees off my website, weirdafnews.com. Ashley Ransley from Grand Rapids, Michigan, says, "Do your worst, Jonesy. Just don't get kidnapped. Salud, Ashley." No doubt Ashley is responding to my request to buy me coffees while I was in Mexico City, which I would then in turn not spend on coffees, but instead trade for mezcal, which I drank plenty of, and even brought a bottle back from Mexico City because I like it so much. Not everybody loves the mezcal because it has a smoky flavor. It's very specific flavor. You kind of have to get acclimated to it. It's not like tequila, really, and not everybody likes it. But I enjoy it very, very much. So brought a bottle back. I bought it at the duty free. You get the stuff at the duty free. I got it at the duty free, man. I didn't have to pay duty. You didn't have to pay duty. I didn't pay duty on that duty free. I also got a review on Amazon, Amazon United States version. This is from RD Star 0311. Who gave me 5 stars. Isn't that sweet? 5 stars. A must to lighten up your day. I listen to this every evening when I get home from work. It's purposely played last in my Amazon flash briefing, so there's something to make me laugh after hearing about all the crap that goes on in the world. I can listen to the even weirder crap that goes on in the world after the other crap that goes on in the world. Seriously, I would recommend this to anyone who needs a laugh throughout their day. Shout out to Jonesy for hooking us up. Ricky, Statesboro, Georgia. Oh, Ricky. Ricky from Georgia, and I just did how appropriate. I'm reading your review in an episode in which I covered a story from Georgia and told everyone not to go there. I'm so sorry, bro. No, I'm sure you're great, Ricky. You're like one of the good guys in Georgia. Hey, so listen, if you're going to go to Georgia, hook up with Ricky because he'll take care of you, all right? He's not going to steal a porch with you, Shout out to Ricky for writing that review. He didn't have to do that. He spent some time. Shout out to Ricky. He just knows how to spell. Anyone who knows how to spell in Georgia, you got to give him props. I'm sorry, Ricky. I couldn't help it. Low-hanging fruit. These jokes about Florida. I'm sorry, Georgia. Oh, boy, that was terrible. Sorry, Florida. Just kidding. Come on, guys. It's jokes. Florida, Georgia, come on. Ricky, you're a great guy, though. Thank you for taking the time to write an Amazon review. As you know, Ricky, I've gotten a lot of really bad 1-star Amazon reviews, so your review really helps beef up my rankings. So now I'm almost averaging 3 stars on here, which is pretty good. I mean, it's like half decent, I think. So, Ricky, thank you so much for your contribution. Pulling me out of the gutter of 1 star. I mean, I can't thank you enough. So big shout out to Ricky. And again, big shout out to Ashley. If you guys are just showing support for the podcast, this is why I do this. I do this for you people. I know that it brings you something in your life, and so I'm happy to do so. Don't make much money doing it, but it's bringing joy, and I like that. I like to know that I'm bringing some joy to people. So, anyways, please help spread Weird AF News, because if you dig it, then people that you're friends with, your friends will probably dig it. People that you hang out with will like it, I think. So just help me spread it around. This should be listened to hundreds of thousands of people every day, but it's not even close, man. And it should be. So help me spread it around. You can spread it on social media too. If you're listening to this on Spotify, you can share it on Twitter immediately. You can share it on Facebook and Instagram. You can easily share this podcast no matter what you're listening on. Podcast platforms allow you to share it. And if you're listening to it on a smart device, I think you can tell your smart device to share it for you as well on your social medias and whatnot. Or you can even text it to friends. Why not just text it to friends? I don't know. I'm just suggesting a way to help spread it around, because it seems to me like this should be listened to way more people. It's not everybody's cup of tea for sure, but if you like it, right? You're a specific person. Your friends that are like you, they'll like it too. The people that you're friends with on social media, if you're anything alike, then that other person will like it too. So please help me spread it around. You can go to weirdafnews.com, the official website, and there's ways to share it there. And that's about it. If you want to buy me coffees or donate to the show or join the Patreon, just go to the website weirdafnews.com. I appreciate you. We'll see you tomorrow, and good luck with your life, man.